If you have $100 or maybe even less than that you're interested in investing and gaining more money from that investment, then keep on watching. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. As you can tell, I am not in my apartment. I am currently on a work conference trip and this is my hotel room. So the lighting's actually pretty good in here. I have a nice little white lamp in front of me and we're just gonna jump right into these simple investments. These are pretty low risk and you just are gonna have to do a little bit more research on some of these things to really gain more money from them. If you prefer to read, I do have a blog post on this exact topic, which will be linked below. First of all, I wanted to start with a lot of people think that you need thousands and thousands of dollars to start investing. And there are various ways to invest. Of course, having more money is going to result in more money in the long run. But you can start with just a little bit because everybody starts somewhere. I wanted to offer these few things to you, hopefully so that I can open your eyes to some possibilities and so that you can see it is relatively simple to begin investing. As I mentioned, these investment tips are very, very simple. So this does not require much knowledge of investing. This isn't complicated. Because we're starting with such a small amount of money, we're keeping it simple and you'll just see what I mean. So the first thing is invest in yourself. I wanted to put this first because I think this is probably one of the most important investments you could possibly make. To begin with, if you have a decent amount of money, you should be eating well. You should be taking care of your health and you should have a gym membership if that's how you prefer to work out, or you should do something where you are physically active. So definitely invest in yourself mentally and physically. You know, this includes your nutrition, your physical health, and of course your mental health. So maybe if you need to begin going to a therapist, or if you are going to a therapist, that is awesome. Keep doing that because I think investing in your own health to begin with is super important. But aside from that, I think it's also important to invest in your education and not necessarily going to college. So not everybody needs to go to college. There are millions of books out there and videos out there for you to consume. And so my first suggestion is to invest in a few books. And I'm going to put a list down below of my highly recommended books. To name a few: You Are a Badass, Think and Grow Rich, Rich Dad Poor Dad, The Millionaire Next Door. There are so many that you could invest in, especially with $100, and I recommend, just start with one and go from there, but you can learn so much from books. There are people who you want to be like, there are investors, millionaires, there's celebrities, there are athletes, there are experts, whatever it is you want to gain knowledge in and ultimately money in, or even if you just want to, learn something for yourself, there is a book out there for it. The next way to invest in yourself are courses. So there are things like Udemy and Coursera that offer really affordable courses. I know Udemy constantly is having sales on their courses where you can purchase courses that are worth $200 for like $10. But if you just do your research of, whatever you want to learn and type in course after that, and you will probably come across something that is highly rated or really recommended by a lot of people. So if you're interested in gaining knowledge in one specific area, you can look into that. But even if it's just like a personal development course, or for example, I have a discipline course for $47. It is linked down below, which is a very reasonably priced thing. This is something that could literally change your life if you actually implement the things in it. With that, you can become a millionaire or become successful in whatever that means to you. But aside from that, you're doing it right now. You're watching this video, which is technically an investment in yourself because this is not something that's just entertainment only. And so a lot of people just fill their brains with entertainment. I actually recently wrote a post on this. I'll put it down below. It's called You Become the Content You Consume. And the more that you fill yourself with positive content or with educational content on finances or whatever it is that you are trying to expand on, then the better you become at that and the more you identify as that type of person. So even if you don't have money, keep watching YouTube videos and things like this that are free. Like you can literally watch tons and tons of videos that educate you and if you actually implement them, that's the key, you got to implement them, then you can literally change your life and change your money habits, all the things. The second thing is a high yield savings account or CD account. This is a very low risk investment because you just put your money in and you gain whatever interest is currently being offered by that provider. So for example, I have my high yield savings account with Marcus by Goldman Sachs. They currently have a rate of 1.7 APY, by the way, so this is not per month, but if you put in $100, you would gain 1.7 APY, and then if you keep that money in there, you're going to make more money. And of course, the more money you add to it, the more money you will make. You could also put it into a CD account. Just be aware that a CD account, you typically have to commit a certain amount to keeping that money in there. Like, you cannot access it immediately. You typically leave it in for a year or two, but you will get a higher savings rate, and that way your money will grow more so. There may be a minimum though, so you may need to put in more than $100, but a high yield savings account is definitely much better. Chances are you probably already have a regular savings account, like with your bank, if you have Bank of America or Chase or Wells Fargo. However, they only offer like pennies. So their rate is like 0.01 APY, typically 0.02, and you get nothing. Like it's literally pennies throughout the year. So I suggest looking into a high yield savings account that you are interested in and that you trust. Make sure they're FDIC insured, most of them are, and then just transfer your money over there. The third thing is to invest in stocks. However, I do suggest you do a lot of research on stocks before you invest. However, you could open a Robinhood account. For example, I do have a link with them. So if you actually sign up with Robinhood and invest money, you will get a free stock, and I will get a free stock. So my link is down below. Like I said before, people think you need lots of money to purchase stocks, but you can actually buy a few shares of a stock with $100. And so you just need to be educated a little bit on this, or if you just wanted to experiment with it, and you can gain money from that. You know, I don't recommend penny stocks. I don't recommend anything that's super high risk or anything. You're gonna need to do your research, but the longer you invest in something and the smarter you are about it, then you can probably make more money, and you can keep investing every month. So $100 into the stock market is not gonna go very far. I mean, you could let it go for years and years and it could potentially be worth a lot, but unless you get really lucky, $100 is probably not gonna be worth too much invested into individual stocks. However, it is an option to you. So check out Robinhood if you haven't already, and just do some research on, you know, potential stock options. My fourth suggestion is to invest in a Roth IRA or open a Roth IRA account. There are a few companies that require a minimum of investment, and so you may not get far with $100. However, there are companies that do allow for you to invest into a Roth IRA with no minimum, so just $50, $100, whatever, and those options are out there. I know that the one I have currently, which is RBC, they did allow for that. Initially, it was State Farm. However, I would prefer to invest in a company like Vanguard, and so what you could do is just save your money for now and invest later. So once you reach their minimum requirement for whichever Roth IRA you would like to invest into, whichever mutual fund or however you want to invest. But for now, maybe you could educate yourself on Roth IRAs and how to make the most of it. Or you could do what I did, which is I opened a Roth IRA. I think I started with about $1,200, and that was not the minimum. I don't think they had a minimum. But now that I have reached the $3,000 mark, I am going to transfer it over to Vanguard, and I'm actually going to document that process. So it is an option to you if you are interested in opening a Roth IRA. Next is to start a business, and this can be just like a small online business because you probably won't get very far with $100 opening a typical business unless you want to take out loans, but we're not suggesting that here. So for example, I have a blog which cost me probably $20, not even, to start up. So I had to purchase the domain name, I had a host, and that was really it. Of course, WordPress.org is free. There are photos for free. You just write, you just create pin images, you can purchase some courses if that's something you are interested in growing, but don't go crazy or anything. Just purchase 1 or 2 courses and actually implement them. But it is really affordable to start a blog that you could eventually turn into a full-time job. Look up how people make money blogging, and it's absolutely incredible. As you guys saw, I made, about $5,000 from my online work last year. So it is a possibility. It does take a lot of time and a lot of effort, but it is such a simple thing to start. So if you are actually somebody who really wants to start a blog and will stay patient and commit to it, then it's a really affordable option. Same thing with YouTube. YouTube is really hard to grow. However, it costs almost next to nothing to create. With YouTube, you don't even need a camera. You can use your phone. For the longest, I used my phone. So I was using a Samsung Galaxy 8, I believe, for the longest to film my videos, and that worked perfectly fine. You don't need the highest quality, trust me. I mean, yeah, of course there are people who have better quality videos, but if your content is good, then you can grow your channel. You don't need a microphone, you don't need lighting, you just need like a window and your phone, and you're good to go. Editing typically comes free with computers, so if you have just your Mac, or if you have a Windows computer, then there are options for you to edit for free, and you can educate yourself on how to use those, and for free you could find ways to learn how to do it, and you're good to go. You could also start an Etsy shop. So I have an Etsy shop as well, where I created a few printables that people can download digitally. So this literally cost me next to nothing. I had a free trial of Canva, Canva, and I designed these printables, and then I uploaded them to Etsy. Of course, it depends on what you want to sell. Maybe you'll need to make an initial investment into product, like if you want to make jewelry or if you want to paint or something like that, but it is an option. If you just start small and actually make some profit first, and then you can reinvest that back into your business and go from there. You could also try drop shipping or Amazon FBA. There are a lot of things that cost you little to nothing, and you can really grow that money. The last thing, which is also like a business but does definitely require you to invest some money first, is flipping items. So if you go to garage sales or yard sales or thrift stores, anything like that, and purchase things secondhand, then you put those items online for a higher price, you can make a profit and then reinvest that money back into purchasing more things, and then again make more profit. So you could really scale this up. You just got to know your brands. Do some research when you're at the store or at the garage sale on, if you're looking for toys, do a quick search on eBay for if that's in demand or how much you could get for it. Is it worth it for you to purchase this? Same thing when you're at the thrift store. There are some designer brands that are really trendy right now, so you could see if they're worth a lot of money right now, if it's worth purchasing, and how much you could list it for. I came across a YouTuber recently, the Empty Hanger, I believe her YouTube channel is. I'll link it down below, but she literally does this full time. So it is definitely a possibility, and also something that you could educate yourself on for free by watching YouTube videos or reading blog posts. So it's a really good option if you are someone who likes to go shopping and list things for sale. Those are my top suggestions for investing your first couple $100, $100, whatever, even just investing in yourself and in your life for free. There's a lot of options out there. Pay attention to the things that you are consuming and see what you're doing with your time. You can really expand your life in all areas of life, and that's pretty powerful. But if you have any other ideas, or if you have done something yourself with a really low startup cost, please comment that down below if you are interested in sharing with others. Otherwise, let me know if you're going to try any of these out and how everything goes. If you have any comments or suggestions, please let me know. Otherwise, thank you as always for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you aren't already, and I will see you in my next video.